Police deployed to patrol hotspot areas. Port Moresby General Hospital nurses protest. And TIPNG launches Inaugural 2021 Media Award.
This is National EMTV News with Helen Seah.
Good evening and thanks for joining us for Monday's news. Badili Police Station Commander Inspector Albert Jerry has dispelled rumors circulating on social media about plans to retaliate on the recent killing of a young man last week Friday at Koki. He said the situation is under control and police have been deployed to patrol the areas at Koki, Badili and 2 Mile since Friday. However, commuters are urged to take precaution while traveling along those areas.
Since the last media conference on Friday till now, there's nothing happening here. The situation is okay, normal. We have deployed police units around 2 Mile, Talai Gorobe, Koki and Badili areas. It's a normal patrol they're doing. And since then, there's no situation, nothing. You can hear rumors anyway from all sorts of media outlets, like rumors people are mobilizing, there's a fighting at Koki or Badili or murders taking place here and there. But as far as we're speaking, as I'm speaking, there's nothing in those areas. Business as usual. You will see the roads are free, the stores open. People are moving in and out, the markets, there's nothing happening. In the meantime, we have deployed policemen on the streets. You will see policemen, as we speak, policemen deployed at Koki Market. They are doing patrols around 2 Mile area, Koki area, and into Talai Gorobe. At the moment, things are back to normal, situation back to normal.
Transparency International Papua New Guinea officially launched their inaugural 2021 Media Investigative Journalism Awards this morning with the goal to encourage professional journalists to investigate and expose corruption and breakdown of government process. This coincides with the celebration of the World Press Freedom Day with the theme Information as a Public Good.
The Investigative Journalism Award is an initiative by TIPNG to recognize and encourage local journalists take on the challenge of investigative reporting. The criteria includes systemic in-depth original reporting, forming a hypothesis, analyze public documents and data, making public things that are secret or hidden, and focus on social justice and accountability. There are 3 categories that the award nominations will come under.
The first category is investigation into statutory appointments and use of public monies. Second is the investigation into separation of powers. The third will be an open category. This open category will encourage journalists to discover and expose facts on cases of corruption at all levels of society.
It is also significant that the launching is organized on the World Press Freedom Day, with the theme Information as a Public Good, emphasizes the importance of substantial and reliable information and the role of journalists in tackling misinformation.
While the media has its critics, and there are many, more so now on social media than before, it is on days like this, World Press Freedom Day, that we must acknowledge how hard our industry works in search of the truth.
The Investigative Awards comes under TIPNG's Promoting Anti-Corruption and Integrity Strategies project, which is funded by the European Union with the Media Council of PNG's support.
Our mission at TIPNG is simply to empower the people of Papua New Guinea to take action against corruption. All our activities support that mission.
One of the objectives of the Promoting Anti-Corruption and Integrity Strategies project, implemented by Transparency International PNG and funded of the European Union under the European Instrument for Democracy and Human Rights, is to increase capacity of journalists and editors to conduct investigative journalism.
The awards winners will be announced during the second National Integrity Summit in February 2022, with 3 prizes in each category: a honorary award, 5,000 Kina journalism gift pack, and mentorship and training in investigative journalism. Nominations open today to all mainstream media journalists throughout PNG and will close on December 31st, 2021. Gertrude Gabi, National EMTV News.
Media personnel are often overlooked as frontline workers in the current COVID-19 pandemic. As the world celebrates Media Freedom Day, which falls on the 3rd of May every year, Minister for Communication and Information Technology Timothy Masiu paid tribute to reporters, broadcasters and journalists as frontline workers. Masiu commended the efforts of dedicated media personnel reporting on the COVID-19 pandemic, saying it is done with great personal risk, so people are kept informed and updated.
I use this occasion of the World Press Freedom Day to firstly pay tribute to the media in this country and to the media workers who have, some have tragically lost their lives while reporting to keep authorities and regimes across the world transparent and accountable. We hear of reporters, journalists, cameramen, everywhere in the world today, covering wars and famines and disasters and all this stuff. Some, end up losing their lives. Some end up being kidnapped. Some even jailed by regimes and governments in the whole world. So, as Minister for Information and Communication Technology, I'm responsible for the media in the country. I pay tribute to the very important work that media people play in terms of dissemination of good information and, of course, true information to the people of the world.
Port Moresby General Hospital nurses gathered today at the PNG Nursing Association headquarters after receiving a written response from the Health Secretary, Dr. Osborne Liko. The response comes after the frontline workers expressed frustration over the unpaid COVID-19 allowances on the 29th of April last Thursday.
After airing their grievances last Thursday through the PNG Nurses Association, the Port Moresby General Hospital nurses received a written response from the Secretary for Health, Dr. Liko. The content of the nurses' grievance letter noted the nurses demanding for risk allowances. In his response, Dr. Liko stated the nurses are threatening the government with industrial action. Dr. Liko further noted in his response the government pay policy does not provide for payment of risk allowances. Adding Circular 12 of 2020 from the National Department of Health stated no extra allowances are payable outside of the standard terms and conditions of employment, hence referring the query of the nurses back to the POMGEN CEO and management. General Secretary for PNG Nurses Association clarified the nurses are only demanding overtime payments.
When all public servants only stop now, even work here, that's the time we want to be compensated. And it should be considered as overtime. Our issue and point is referring to the overtime. At the same time, nurses who are infected, you as the department head come and tell us your vision and direction, plan for people who are infected.
President for PNG NA states the protest will continue if their grievances are not met.
So protest and by still on, Mibla by tomorrow look him CEO, tomorrow Mibla will come. We will demand them to come and give us the acquittal report for the COVID used by the Department of Health. We would like to see nurses a partner in the COVID rollout, awareness and prevention. Nurses are not utilized.
Kilawani, National EMTV News.
You're watching National EMTV News. We'll have more stories after the break. Stay with us. Welcome back. Papua New Guinea Defence Force, in partnership with the Australian Defence Force, opened 2 new facilities recently at the PNGDF headquarters in Murray Barracks, NCD. A chapel and a 100-man single barrack were opened under the Defence Cooperation Programme. The 2 buildings are state-of-the-art and built with the latest technology and accessories.
An event that revisited and reflected on their long-standing relationship that first started as just friends, the PNG Defence Force and Australian Defence Force relationship has grown deeper over the years into a special bond, more like family with roots buried deep in time. They spilled their blood together across the rugged interior of the Owen Stanley Ranges and along the Kokoda Track that came to be known as one of the bloodiest campaigns of World War II.
Our Defence Cooperation Programme marks about 42 years, and I want to acknowledge and say thank you to the Australian government through our Defence Cooperation Programme, and I want to acknowledge the leadership of the Air of Australian Defence Staff, Colonel Billy Kidd, to adjust programs and put funds.
But it's important for us, extremely important. We don't just talk in terms of what we think should be the priorities. It's important to us throughout the whole partnership to understand what PNG's priorities are as well, and PNGDF's priorities are. And it's in that context we think about the importance of a chapel in any barracks.
This strong bond is reflected through the Defence Cooperation Programme that continues to provide support through different programs including training, exercises and infrastructure upgrades. Last Tuesday afternoon, the 2 friends embraced another milestone in their relationship following the opening of a newly refurbished 100-man single barracks at the Force Support Battalion and St. Paul's Chapel inside PNGDF headquarters at Murray Barracks.
For this facility, it's intended to be used as an isolation facility in the short term, and then after that will be used by the soldiers here under FSB, Force Support Battalion. That's actually under our CEO, Lieutenant Colonel Maya Mefa. And then on the other side, we have our chapel, Murray Barracks St. Paul's Chapel. So that was completed early this year, and that's also underneath the DCP program. So these 2 buildings are actually the first 2 projects under that particular program to be completed. Within the program itself, but in partnership with our Directorate of Engineers on the PNGDF side.
His Excellency, the Head of Mission of Australia, John Philp, and Chief of PNG Defence Force, Major General Gilbert Toropo, were there to cut ribbons to the 2 buildings, with both voicing concerns to all soldiers using the facilities to take good care of them. Dennis Orere, National EMTV News.
The contract for works for the Inga electrification project has been signed, making way for construction to commence on the Ramu grid extension. The project will connect up to 5,500 rural households, schools, health centres, government offices and businesses within 500 metres of the main transmission lines. This 50 million kina project extends the Ramu grid into the Sak Valley in the Wapenamanda district of Enga province. The project is jointly funded by New Zealand and Australia under the 5-nation PNG electrification partnership announced during the November 2018 APEC leaders meeting in PNG and implemented by PNG Power Limited. New Zealand High Commissioner His Excellency Philip Towler and PNG Power Managing Director Flagan Becker signed the contract for works on Friday. 5 young men graduated over the weekend to fight fire and rescue lives at Lays Nadzab Airport after 5 weeks of training. The officers are the first aviation rescue firefighters for Nadzab Airport after the last recruitment in 2014. PNG's National Airports Corporation now has over 100 aviation rescue firefighters who are based at 6 of the 22 airports in the country.
This is the site for a final fire drill. National Airports Corporation officers are seen pouring oil on old tires that will be set alight in a few minutes. As the tires are set alight, Nadzab's aviation rescue firefighters are called in. In a matter of minutes, the fires are put out and casualties brought to safety. The fire drill was one of a series of trainings conducted for National Airports Corporation firefighters. It was witnessed by NAC's management from Port Moresby, including the acting managing director, Rex Kiponge.
That's a requirement under CASA rules and regulations. So in compliance with the CASA requirements, we will do that. We are actually in the process of rolling out. So we have 6 at the moment, and LAMEX, NATSAP is 6th, yeah. So 5 other airports. We have ARF.
The 5 officers who were recruited in Leh were engaged in a 5 weeks training of aviation rescue and firefighting with the National Airports Corporation. While they have more trainings before being certified as fully fledged airport firefighters, they graduated from the initial stage and were welcomed into the force of aviation rescue firefighters with the ceremonial washdown and certification. There are now over 100 NAC aviation rescue firefighters based at 6 airports from the 22 airports in the country.
We have in total, from memories, 102, and excluding the 5 that we have now. So in total, 107.
Meanwhile, Leh's Nadzab Airport is currently undergoing construction for its redevelopment funded by JICA and the PNG government at a cost of almost 700 million kina. The project is anticipated to be completed in 2022. Mr. Kiponge said NAC would like to work together with its stakeholders, including Works Department, to ensure the improvement of the current road construction.
We'd like to see the road as also upgrading improved up to NATSAP, so that when we start the airport, you would expect the number of people, the influx of people to increase. Therefore, we'd like to see the road as a key component or the crucial part of our airport.
Julie Badui, OA, National MTV News, Leh.
New generation Papua Besena are appalled by the recent slaying of a young man last Friday in the nation's capital. The group has called for a strong political action after warnings issued by the governor of the NCD Post Pakop and member for Moresby South, Justin Tchenko.
Another merciless death in the nation's capital over the weekend, causing ill faith in the law and order system in the country. The new generation Papua Besana raising their voice again for this gruesome killing.
And we, new generation Papua Besana, are still shocked and at a loss to describe it even now. It is unbelievable that this animalistic behavior is happening right here in our capital city. And it is just unacceptable.
The horrific scene all captured on CCTV. In light of this horrific killing, and not the first for the nation's capital in the last 5 years, the Papua Besana movement is now calling on the government to act. They say enough warning has already been issued.
On Friday night, both NCD Governor Paus Pakop and member for Moresby South, Justin Tchenko, came out condemning the killing, and again, and I repeat, again, gave warnings to settlers that if this happens again, they will be evicted. Warning times are over. We cannot continue to warn and do nothing about it.
Their call, amongst a number of other points, include the government to seriously look at the Vagrancy Act.
Number 1, urban migration must be controlled. Number 2, the Vagrancy Act must be revisited and enforced. This must be done. Everybody out there is crying for that. Number 3, this idea of giving free land titles to settlers by Governor Paus Pakop must be halted, must be stopped, because it only encourages more people from outside coming into the city. How is it that you give away titles with utilities when the original land owners of Port Moresby still have not been provided the basic services for nearly half a century?
As they make their call, Papua Besana Movement notes the lack of interest by the Central Provincial Member of Parliaments in light of the number of killings since the Gairo death and the Kairuku murder.
Governor Robert Agarobe, Honorable Member for Goilala, William Sam, indeed, this call also goes out to all our Central Province MPs and all Papuan MPs from the region to participate in this conversation. We, the new generation Papua Besana, demand and call on Prime Minister James Marape and his government to do something about this as a matter of critical urgency. He needs to say something. He needs to do something before we lose any more lives.
Kilawani, National EMTV News.
Correctional Service Minister and Tambul Nabilia MP Win Bakri Daki, under the District Services Improvement Program Fund, presented a new school truck to Gilaway High School in his electorate. The presentation of the school truck was one of Minister Daki's election promises to this newly established high school. Daki said this will help boost the morale of teachers to impart knowledge to their students and also spur students to study hard and improve in their learning. He pledged to build 2 new double-story classrooms for Gilaway High School and also connect electricity so that students in the rural areas can have access to ICT services. Now looking at the NAS Fund market reports, the Kina closed unchanged at $0.2850 in the interbank market. At Bank South Pacific, your Kina was buying $0.2775 US, $0.3654 Australian dollars, $0.3777 New Zealand dollars, and 29.49 Japanese yen. Looking at commodity prices at New York closed, gold is trading higher. Coffee, cocoa and copra closed lower. Palm oil closed lower, crude oil is trading lower and copper closed higher. And on the stock market, the Dow Jones closed lower, the ASX 200 is trading higher and the All Ordinaries is trading higher.
Trukai Sports.
Welcome to Trukai Sports. The Croton Hela Wigmen are set to defend their 2020 premiership with a majority new-look side. The team has retained only 10 of their players in the grand final winning team last year and have recruited an additional 25 players to fill in the void. The team launched their 2021 campaign on Friday at the Koitaki Country Club in Central Province.
It's all about defending the premiership title. That's right, the new look Hela Wigmen on Friday launched their 2021 campaign in a quiet and secluded tranquil setting outside the city limits at the Koitaki Country Club in Central Province. Not a big launch, but a time to relax, the calm before the storm. With a majority new look side, only 10 players from last season remaining with the team, with 7 of their best moving to the Hunters.
We are so fortunate to have the core group of last year, including other senior players that have joined us, like Daniel Pai, Misek Wallen, Manu Kame. These are experienced players, but they have been around for a while.
One player that stands out is Stanford Talita, a breakout star for the club. Despite throwing back offers of joining the Hunters to concentrate on school, he is being rewarded by his club, the Wigmen, giving Talita a co-captaincy role with Valentine Culligan.
It's been a very long time I've been with the club, and to be given this a great opportunity to lead the boys in 2021, I'm very happy with my other co-captain, Valentine. Yes, I'm happy. Last year he led us into the grand final and we won. So this year I'm very happy to once again maybe go to the final again.
There is a mix of old and new in the Wigmen this season, with the management eager to test out the team come this weekend. A lengthy but strict player recruitment process culminating in the best choice team to defend the cup.
The boys that you see here today maybe fringe players in other clubs, maybe underrated in other clubs, but they have something that we believe in them. And that is the challenge for them as well, to believe in themselves. Our job as a club is to provide that conducive environment. But as a player, they need to work hard.
Coach Charlie Wabo was the coach of the year last season and is looking for a back-to-back title in the coaching role.
Yeah, Mibla ready this year lo maintain premiership that Mibla winning last year. All our preparation from other training, all this play, me looking Mibla, I mean, all boys all looks up already lo defending the title, so we.
The Wigmen will face the Gorokalahanis this weekend in their season opener when the Digital Cup returns for the 2021 season. Fidelis Sukina, Trukai Sports.
Taruba Rugby League Association in Rigo Central Province officially launched its 2021 season. The competition will see 6 teams compete in 2 male divisions, A grade and B grade.
6 teams are set to compete in the 2021 Taruba Rugby League season. Nelson Lawyers Limited, a private entity, opted on board to sponsor the 2021 season with trophies and cash prizes.
As a private citizen, we give back something back to our community and encourage and motivate our people at the community levels. At the end of the day, this is a partnership, and we are maintaining that as corporate sponsor.
With 20 rounds to be played in the comp, TRL President Galamatau Ula says the management is planning to take part in PNG RFL off-season tournaments, including the Southern Region 9s towards the end of their season.
So we want to, we are telling the boys to change the way of thinking that rugby league is a career already. So we want to see our boys getting into like Dawaris 9s and Southern Region 9s, whichever competition is, PNG RFL is offering.
TRL has been in existence for many years as an affiliate to PNG RFL. Southern Confederate Director Gwaibu Mairi, who was present to witness the launching, said most rural leagues in PNG should be given the recognition for their commitment in building rugby league ambassadors in local leagues.
It is vitally important for rural leagues, affiliates of Papua New Guinea Rugby Football League to be given that recognition. Leagues like Taruba, who have been affiliates for a long time, have always sent a team, a representative team to the Confederate trials, and they have always participated. Although they play second fiddle to Port Moresby Rugby League, it's a matter of exposing the players to another level of competition.
Suli, Trukai Sports.
Trukai Sports continues with more after the break. Stay with us.
Trukai Sports.
Welcome back to Trukai Sports. PNG Football Association and the Women's National Soccer League Interim Standing Committee have made the difficult decision to cancel the 2020 to 2021 WNSL finals, with the grand final originally scheduled for March 27th in Port Moresby. The recent spike in COVID-19 cases, coupled with restrictive measures surrounding public gatherings, football authorities were left without any viable alternative.
The PNG Football Association has announced their decision to cancel the Women's National Soccer League semi-finals and grand final. This is due to the lengthy indefinite suspension of the 2020-2021 competition, since COVID-19 control measures were imposed by the Office of the Controller back in March 18. The WNSL experienced a further setback with the PNG Sports Foundation issuing a nationwide suspension on all sporting competitions using the facilities back in April 12. This suspension was extended to May 3rd today. PNGFA Competition Director Paul Sarua stated that the WNSL finals were initially suspended on March 19th, marking 8 weeks of non-active training and competition for the WNSL finalists. Other factors that were considered by the PNGFA and the WNSL in making the decision to cancel the finals included the loss of momentum to high team performances, the high risk of players sustaining injuries, and to avoid clashes or overlaps with other scheduled PNGFA competitions that are due to start. The PNGFA stated that they will reward the qualifying clubs accordingly in due course. Huxley Lovai, Trukai Sports.
Canoe sailing, which was once very popular in the coastal areas along the coastline of Central Province, has now become a bit quiet in recent years. But the sport is slowly being revived, with major racing events being held in past months on the Motu and coastline and under Port Moresby Canoe Sailing Association. Porabada Village is one such place where the sport was popular many years ago.
Outrigger canoe racing has been missing in Porabada village for many years. But with the hosting of this race here and having top-grade crews with their canoes here competing in this event, canoe racing has been revived in the village.
Back in the early 2004-05, the canoe race was the main sporting activity in the village. Since then, we have come to some races back at Ella Beach during Hiri Cup, and most of the times were hosted by Port Moresby Canoe Racing, which the couple of the canoes were invited to participate. That was then. Up till now, we haven't been racing.
This is a special race sponsored by one of the newcomers. The canoe name is Sao Bolo, hails from Barakau. Now, Sao Bolo is a member of Port Moresby Canoe Sailing Association. And on that note, we, the executives of the POM Association, say thank you to him for bringing the race out to Porabada village.
After some brief entertainment on the beach, the race finally began at around 11 a.m. on Saturday, with the breeze gradually picking up its pace. A total of 7 outrigger canoes took part in the race. Winner of the Sao Bolo Cup last year at Barakau, the Wanimix crew took the early lead as most expected, with race hosts and sponsors Sao Bolo in second spot and Nosanti tagging closely behind in third position at the midway point of the race. The race course provided the challenge for canoe keepers and their crews to make crucial decisions out at sea to find the right place and timing to make turns. The Wanimix crew came out as victors, finishing quite a distance ahead of second-placed Sao Bolo and Nosanti in third place.
The prize getters is ranging from number 1 to number 5. Okay, number 1 will go away with 1,500. Number 2 with 800 kina. Number 3 with 600 kina. And number 4, 400 kina. And then number 5, 200 kina. 6 onwards will have consolation prizes such as food hampers.
More major racing events are expected in the coming months. Dennis Orere, Trukai Sports.
And then ends Trukai Sports, the weather forecast after the break.
Trukai Sports. Trukai Sports.
This weather update is proudly brought to you by MoniPlus, with you always.
A look at the weather forecast for tonight and tomorrow in the southern region. Mostly fine weather in Port Moresby, cloudy with a shower or two in Daru and Alotau. Showers expected in Kerema and fine weather, although cloudy at times in Popondetta. In the Moresby region, mostly fine weather in Lae, cloudy periods in Wau and Medang, partly cloudy weather in Wewak and Vanimo. In the New Guinea Islands region, fine, although cloudy in Lorengau, cloudy periods with a shower or two in Kavieng, Kokopora, Bao, Kimbe and Boka. And in the Highlands region, brief showers in Mount Hagen, cloudy periods in Goroka and Kondiawa, and cloudy with a shower or two in Mendi and Wabeg.
The weather update was proudly brought to you by MoneyPlus, with you always.
And that's been the news, sport and weather for today, Monday the 3rd of May 2021. From all of us here at EMTV, pleasant viewing. Good night.